Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Daddy Issues. Today we got on Mike, aka Jersey Mike, and he's going to talk a little bit about his story, his situation, the ups and downs, and staying positive throughout everything. And he's doing his thing right now, so check it out.
So, my bro, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Um, how many kids do you have? You have kids, right?
I got two, man, and I got court tomorrow. So our final tomorrow. So nervous and excited at the same time.
Really? Well, I don't want to go into your business, but good luck. Shit, you know?
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
very,
it's been 6 years, so hopefully we can settle this.
damn, 6 years. Yeah, I've been,
Yeah.
I've been, I've been at it for almost 3 years. And still,
Crazy.
it's like an appointment that I expect to be
Yeah.
at every 3 months or 4 months, or sometimes just two or three times a year. I'm in court.
Damn. See,
So,
we can't here in New Hampshire, we can't even get a court date within a year. It takes like 2 years to even get one.
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep.
Wow. Over here, bro. I go online, I go to this thing called JEDS.
Yeah.
I submit a form. If it's an emergency, I put the reason for my emergency. I've been heard like on within a week on two or three
Wow.
occasions. And then if it's not an emergency, it's like a month, 2 months for a court date.
Damn. Yeah, I filed for an adjustment on child support one time and it took 2 years to even get in. And at that point everything's changed. It's like damn, like
Everything's
what
changed
do I
at
got?
that point. Like, what are
Right.
we adjusting here? You got
Right.
inflation, you got all this stuff, you got all these receipts that I've been backing up. Like, what?
Yeah, it was actually right before we filed it before COVID started, and then COVID happened. But I was still talking about my stuff 2 years ago, and then yeah, it was crazy. But
Man, I'm gonna be setting up for one of those soon enough, and it's tough, man. It's a lot of stress. You know what?
oh
I
yeah,
never get used to court. I never
yeah,
get used to it. I get this whole buildup of anxiety. I get all like,
yeah,
just stressed out. I don't enjoy it.
yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about your story a little bit.
Let's go.
What happened? What happened with your situation?
So in 2018, things started to go kind of down in the relationship with me and the mother of my kids. Um, Tried a bunch of different ways to save things. We even moved to Florida for a little bit. Try to change this, the scenery, see if that would
Wow.
help make things work in some kind of way. But it just kind of kept going down. And towards 2019, we moved back to Jersey, and things were nasty. We were just got to a point where we were both very uncomfortable in our own home with each other. So I had already had kind of a drinking problem for most of my adult life. Um, Drinking a lot after work or on the weekends. Sometimes I'd have weeks where I wouldn't drink and just on the weekend, and sometimes it would be some months where I drink every day after work. It kind of depended. It depended on how in control I felt. If I
Yeah,
started to lose a little control, I'd be like, "Fuck it," giving up the weekdays for a little bit. Um,
but it didn't affect like you were kind of like a functional.
Functional, yeah. It
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
affect. I was actually very successful. I was very successful in my career. I was killing it at work throughout those years. I was functioning very well. Like
yeah,
I had a good grasp on things for years doing that. And like I said, I was even moving up in my career, and I feel like as I was moving up in my career, things were just becoming more distant and numb at home. From fucking successful at work, escape at home.
yeah,
And I'm trying to escape a lot of the shit that I carried with me, resentment at work, resentment in the shit from my past, a bunch of shit that I carried. I just didn't want in my head after work. I wanted to see my kids play and play with them, not thinking of all this fucking white noise that was always on all the time.
yeah.
But when I saw my family start to kind of fall apart, and I saw we weren't going to work out this relationship, I saw there was no going back. You know, there was infidelity and shit that had happened that couldn't make it go back, and that's when things got bad. You know, I was drinking in like a self destruction kind of mode, um, just completely like more than I ever drank in my entire life, from morning till night. And this wasn't at while I was at work. I had asked for leave. I had to leave from work just because the whole situation was. I was having like a mental breakdown over this shit.
Yeah, and at that, it sounds like at that point you already said fuck it. You guys are already going through some shit, so you were just
I was like, "Fuck it,
didn't really
man.
care.
There's like this isn't going anywhere." And now I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm done." She's like, "I'm about to get stepped on like a little bug. She's gonna step on me like a little fucking bug, you know." And life's over, man. You know, like this is it. That's how I felt. And I was out of my house for a while. I was out of my house for like a month in my car. All of this shit that was really, really difficult to kind of stomach. That I could even like. I was like, how the fuck did I end up in this
Right.
fucking situation? How are we here? Um, when I got back home after this whole time I was out of my house for a little bit, that's when I really felt like I had no power anymore. I'm like, I was put out of my own house. You know, obviously I have no control here.
And you
That
guys are married at this point?
we're not married.
Never married. Okay.
Never married. And um, I bought this house. It's my house, right? And still, even with that set up, because of the shit we had going on, I wanted her out of the house. I was like, you
Yeah.
got to leave after like what's going on here. I can't really be under the same roof with you, and I'm not going anywhere. So you got to leave. And she didn't like that, and she's like, I'm gonna get you to leave. I'm fucking getting you out. And the fighting, the screaming, all the shit that was going on every day, uh, got to a point where she had me put out of the house. You know, the cops came and took me out of the fucking house.
Wow.
And they're like, I'm like, listen, this is my fucking house. And they're like, dude, we get it, but you got to figure this out in court. Unfortunately, that none of that matters. You know, I had my lawyer on the phone. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like,
Right. Right.
you can't even do this. And he's like, watch. So yeah, and they did it. And with all of that being said, what the time I was out, I felt like this. I was made into this animal that I wasn't. I
Yep.
I'd come by to like bring groceries for my kids and shit, you know, bring them food, and she'd have them hiding in the bathroom and all kinds of shit, and I couldn't really see them. I just felt this shit broke me. Like it just destroyed me being in this situation. I felt like giving up, man. Like I like that's it. There's no I lost. Like this is all done.
Yeah. And do you think a lot of it was like that because of the infidelities and stuff like that, I'm assuming it was on your part, that she has like more hate for you because of that kind of stuff or what?
So it was the opposite. The infidelity was on her.
Oh shit.
The infidelity was on her. You know, I as unhappy as I was in our relationship, my most important thing like was my family. That's what
Yeah.
kept my that was like my what kept me motivated, kept me going. I would never fuck that up. You know, I drank
Yeah.
myself to blackouts. I fucking slept. I acted like a pig. I had my own share of shit that I did, but infidelity was yeah, that was on her. She had the infidelity,
Damn.
and that's what I couldn't stomach, and that's what
Right. Right.
I couldn't live with was that, and I could make everything work, but not that. I couldn't make
Yep.
that work. So um, I had a tough time being living under the same roof with somebody that just did that. Like, so you know,
Absolutely.
I felt sick, yo. I felt sick. I never felt like a gut wrenching feeling in my stomach. Then I'm like in my house with someone that I've been with for 10 fucking years, and they you know just had done this, and I'm
Yeah.
here like I have to live with you. I have to fucking sit here and like eat with you.
Yeah.
And I was just sick, man. I felt so sick. The drinking was the only thing that fucking made it fucking bearable. It made it swallowable. Like I could take the pill of it and I could stomach it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where that was, man. It was like I could not handle that shit. And when I got after I was out of the house, when I got back in the house, it was kind of like a white flag for me. I felt like damn, even after the infidelity and after all this, like I'm out, and I have no control over my home. I have no control over my life. I'm in a car going to work and shit. Um, I just gave up. I got back home and just literally woke up. I drink at least like a pint and a half of vodka first thing, man, because I'd wake up like fucking out of breath. My heart would be fucking going a million miles an hour, and that vodka would slow it down as soon as I woke up.
Wow.
I was having bad withdrawals, like I was deep in it at that point. I knew at that point when I was waking up like that, I was like, you know, I'm in a fucked up place.
Yeah, I mean that's good that you got out of it because some people don't. Some people can't get out of shit like that. So good for you.
I by luck, man, I ended up with like a liver failure and all a bunch of shit. I
Oh wow.
my kids, um, while I was off, I got to a point like my eyes turned yellow and my skin turned yellow, and I guess I was hallucinating. I didn't know it at the time. I couldn't really make the difference between reality of being drunk or what was kind of going on. Um, but my mother had called and asked my son. She didn't see me online on my social media for a couple of days, and my son came and like found me barely breathing in my room. I had liver failure. I was fucking had kidney failure. I was going into cardiac arrest. And then they brought me to a hospital, put me in an induced coma to stop me from the withdrawal from fucking me up. And I was in a coma for almost 3 weeks.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I was asleep for a minute.
Wow. How did your son kind of take that in?
Um, I'm sure at that time he was probably very scared. I got taken out here in an ambulance, uh, but they were with their mom while all of that was happening, and I was in the hospital. Um, and I don't really know exactly how he took it at that time. He was really young,
Yeah.
the next thing I remember was when I woke up was I saw family, and later on when I was actually like better coherent, my kids came by, and it was like they came in with like these big smiles, man. It was like they weren't even scared. I thought they were gonna be
Right.
scared. They came in like fucking jumping and playing in the room like and I'm like fucking I could barely move. I'm over there. I can't walk. I'm like defecating myself. I can't use the bathroom. It's like I'm 100 pounds heavier than I was before I went into this coma because all this fluid buildup was going on because of
Yeah.
the liver failure. And they weren't scared of me at all. They were just like and ran up to me, and it was nice.
That's
It,
awesome.
it
How
was
did how did the ex take it? Like, did she kind of use that against you to get the kids, or
no. I mean,
that's good?
how she was taking it at that time, I think she was like biting her nails, kind of waiting for the clock to tick for me to take my leave out of here. I think her
Yeah.
situation would have worked out a lot better that way. That's why she didn't really call for help. It took my
Yeah.
mother calling for getting my son to get help. um, but she tried using it later against me when I had gotten home after this whole coma fucking deal. I'm like, so are you gonna leave? Because like, like we just took off from like me asking her to leave before all
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, you gotta go at some point. Like you gotta figure out your life. at some point, like, I'm here, I just almost died. I'm trying to hang tight here, see if this liver works out.
What was
Um,
that the turning point for you too? Like getting your shit together?
that was my turning point. That,
Yeah.
that, that was like, that was my turning point. I still
The
went through,
second chance, you know?
yeah, my second chance. That was my turning point. I still went through things after that, but that was my full turning point into where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Like it, at that point, everything I was so like in fear of before, this fear that I felt under her was gone. Like everything I just went through had put me in such a place where it was like what I needed. It was like what I needed to be able to come back to being sober, come back to dealing with life, come back to acceptance of the situation that I was in that I couldn't accept before, and then to work and start building from scratch, from
Yeah.
an empty cup, like nothing, like
Oh yeah.
let's start over here. We're starting over, and the way it worked out was she ended up looking for some places to stay, and I offered to help get her on her feet and getting out. And she was good with that. She kind of wanted her independence at that time, and she's like, "I'm gonna go and get myself set up, and the kids are gonna stay." And I'm like, "Yeah, the kids are gonna stay. This is all they know. This is where they grew up."
Yeah.
And you can either like choose a place that's either gonna keep them in the same schools in this area and not change their life, or if you decide you're gonna move out, then we'll have to figure that out in court. So she made her way to her new place that wasn't in the same town, and her plan was eventually to set up here. But the way things worked out, we had no court agreement at that time, and we were just like 50-50.
Yep.
You have that time, I have this time. And little by little, uh, she's just made her own choices that have led her to not being able to have the time um, that she wants. Like, it's like the shoe on the other foot situation. As I got my shit together, she started to deal with her own set of problems from
Yeah.
life of being on her own, being out there and doing, her own thing. So that's what got to a situation where now I have my kids all the time, and she sees them every other weekend um, for a certain amount of time. And it's like that every
She
other.
You have your kids full time and she sees them every other weekend?
Yes.
How did that happen in court? How the hell did that happen?
Just through life, like the decisions that were being made. So as I was getting my shit together and getting sober, my recovery, getting my life back together, she just went through her own circumstances of life that led her to choices that she was just slowly either not able to commit to as much time to the kids, or just not even like um, pushing for it, not even
Yeah.
like making the move for it. Kind of like the more time, the more they were getting more settled in with me, and that was not a big fight on her end of things. So,
Wow.
and not even and to be honest, not even with the kids, because the kids, this was all they knew, was here being home in
Yeah.
this town. Like, this is where they went to school. This is everything to them. This whole neighborhood that we live in. So in their kind of testimony and their kind of words being also taken by the judge, um, and her circumstances, it led to me having them to where they are now,
So
which
how old are they?
12 and 9.
12 and 9, and then they were able to speak to the judge about their situation where they kind of wanted to go or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't even based on that. It was just ultimately based on what was in the best interest
Yeah.
of of their time with their parent and the circumstances. The circumstances, at the end of the day, it's like, that's the mother of my kids. And even the problems that we've had, with all that set aside, they need their mom, like they need
Yeah.
they need that kind of love. Like there's just no growing up without that love that's good for them.
Yeah. So
And
what's the going back and forth to court for? Is that like she wants more time or
no, ultimately it's been for because of not taking time,
uh
not even using the time that's being given. Usually it's because it's like, well, these visits aren't being taken advantage of. Like, you're not taking this time. My schedule, their schedule, their structure of expecting you at this time, and you're not coming.
yeah.
The court dates have always been because of not living up to what our agreement is, and kind of,
Damn.
leaving me and them in limbo.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's like, okay, so why are we going to sit here in limbo all the time? Let's get it figured out to how it works best for you and your situation right now, so that everybody's more at rest, not waiting every weekend for something that's not coming, or whatever the case might be. So
Yeah.
that sucks, but also, like, I understand what it's like to be in that position where you got to start from scratch. You got to empty your fucking cup and start over,
And
like,
the good thing is too, you're not using it against her. You're actually trying to help her, and because it obviously frees up time for you too. Because having kids full time is fucking hard.
huh,
So
bro,
right,
bro, bro, the like, like, where you have no time. There's no
right,
time, like, I'm a single man that as much as I love having my kids and love doing all these things, of course it
yeah,
benefits in also having some healthy space and time, and them having time with their mom. Of course I would appreciate that, and I'm sure they would too. It's like,
yeah,
even though she doesn't look at it that way now, which I feel for her, and because, like I said, in that situation, I know what it's like, where you kind of got to rebuild and start from
yeah,
scratch, and I had to in every aspect. Um, that no matter what, I'm just trying to hold shit down. Like, my ultimate goal here is for you to be in your best self, your best version, so that
absolutely,
you can be there for them, and I can be at peace for myself, have my own time. Everybody can enjoy each other in the new structure of the way life has to be. That's what the goal is here. It's just not, it's not working out, and everybody has their own time in the way shit works. It ain't gonna work on everybody's time. So I just kind of
yeah,
do what I can do in the time being, and hope I'm doing the best I can. Like, and that's it.
yeah. Is there any resentment from the kids, like not wanting to see their mom or whatever, since she doesn't like come by much or cancels on days that she's supposed to be there?
There might be some times of a quick feeling of being upset, but overall, no, because that's
That's good.
like they're kids. It's like,
Yeah,
in I feel like kids, man, you have so much time to do right by them. They give you so many chances. They're like endless. They're like an endless fucking fountain of opportunities that just want you to fucking love them. And if you keep fucking up, you keep fucking up. If they're waiting for you to just do right, come love them, give them the attention that they're looking for.
yeah,
And as I don't think they do. Like, they might get upset here and there and be like, well, this or what that, or didn't come this time or whatever. But ultimately, I know that the feeling of getting the love and the attention will, like, set them free like that. Just, like,
yeah,
embrace it. I remember as a kid, like, kids are so generous with that, man. Only for so long, for so
yeah.
long. As soon as they get, my older one's 12. I think at, like, they start getting to that age, 13, 14, 15, that it's like, it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Mine's 13 and it's gone.
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah,
At that
yeah,
point, they're in their own person now, and now they have
yeah,
their own boundaries set and their own, ego and what they like and don't like, and they're just not taking everybody's shit anymore.
yeah,
you know, and fairly so. It's like they're growing into, young people, young adults.
yeah. Yeah, it goes by quick too. If there's any advice you could give dads out there, what would it be?
Don't stay down on yourself about anything, man. Just pick up and and go. You know, like I've lost a lot of time on downtime of regret or shame of mistakes and bad choices that I made, and all that downtime is it's just not productive. It's so counterproductive. A little bit of it is good for reflection, but don't stay down. Like, you make a mistake, man, your kid's there waiting for you to do right. That's all there is. No matter how much of a grudge you feel they have or how upset they have, I feel like, you know, love and attention. That's all these kids want. It's not even money, games. And those are all just circumstances that they'll take for the option of not getting our attention. They're cool with all of those things. But really, it's just time, attention, and not being down on yourself, and apologize. I've been apologizing to my older son a lot because he's turning into this like young man, and I gotta respect him like a young man and kind of give him the grace of a young man. And even though this is the most amount of fucking mistakes he's ever been making at 12, it's like now I gotta go the easiest on him and be soft on him and just give your kids love and attention, man. And I don't think you can go wrong. There's no, you know, you can't fuck the handbook up with the intention of love. You have good intentions, you're gonna parent right. That's it.
Definitely. Yeah, no, 100%. Awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on. Is there you want to talk about anything else?
Nah, bro, that's it, man. It was nice,
This
man.
live
It's
was
nice.
cool. I've never been on the live, so that's kind of dope.
Yeah, bro. It was cool, man. Some people hung out for it. That's what's up.
Yeah. Awesome,
Definitely
man.
good.
Well, yeah, thank you for jumping on, and I really appreciate it.
No problem, my bro. Let me
No
know.
problem.
Let me know when you throw this up. I'll throw it up on my page, and we'll keep in touch,
Perfect.
my bro. All right. Enjoy your
Awesome.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Take care.
You too, man. All right. Thank you.